I am glad to be here. I hope you are blessed. Good evening on YouTube once again. You're welcome. This is uh, this is Life Coach Vimbai Chiwuswa today, this evening, once again on our usual sessions. I hope you're all fine. It's a pleasure, always a pleasure to be here. And yes, today we are looking at episode 13. Yeah, episode 13. And we are talking today about life in diaspora. Yeah, like you can understand, I am one of the people living in diaspora for so many years now. So I just thought it's one topic that is dear to my heart that, we look at it today and see how we go about how we can help each other. So the other thing to this, as usual, and remember, we are when we are talking, like we are talking to you who's listening, we are saying like look at what's happening around you. If there is anything that you can change to make your life better, then do change and use whatever knowledge and information that you have to your advantage. You all sorry, we are looking at you, like you who's listening, right, to say pick what you can pick and use that to your advantage. And if you need help from professionals that you can really have to go and talk to them in person, please by all means do that. But or whichever the case, you have to use the information to your advantage. That's where we are coming in as a life coach, that we, some of us are starters, or we tend to steer things a bit. Okay, so I hope it works. So this is where we are today. Yeah, we are saying we will look at how people move, why people move, and we'll look at what are the issues with diaspora, the life in diaspora, what's going on there, like what are the problems there are people in diaspora facing, and what solutions are there. And we'll see if we can get other people to join in a conversation. But if we don't get others to join us, no problem, not to worry. I am prepared to talk for a whole day on this issue. I have a lot to share. Maybe someday I'll write a book. We'll see. Experiences in diaspora. It's a topic on its own. Yeah. Okay, so let's see, where do we start? Yeah. Like as usual, the quotations of the day. I have our exile organizations have been our way of replacing the cities and the villages we lost. Hello, my big brother Mokta. How are you? Oh, you are very welcome. We are talking diaspora life today. So that's an quotation from Henning Mankell, with the titled "The Dogs of Riga." And the other quotation that I have is, the brick walls that appear are not there as obstacles. They are simple there for you to prove how much you want to stay. That's a quotation from Alba Ganadu Supreme in A Place of Beautiful Nonsense. Okay, so that with boundaries and obstacles, yes, those who have had to deal with the home office, they know what we are talking about. Those who have had to deal, like apply for a passport, apply for a visa, you really know what you have to deal with. That, sometimes you think you've just managed to solve one problem and the next one comes up, and you think, will I ever finish jumping all these walls and all these obstacles on my way? on my journey to get whatever passport color that you're looking for. It's not easy. It is really hard work. It needs really strong strong shoes and jackets to pull you through. Okay, so talking of migrating, diasporas are people who have migrated from wherever they came from, wherever they are born, their countries they were born in, or wherever Yeah, those are the migrants. The true migrants are those who have migrated. But like to categorize people, the children of migrants sometimes are also called migrants. Though we will say like, no, they are not migrants. They are born in that country, so they are citizens. It gets complicated. If you are a child of you belong, you're a citizen of that country that you are born in. But here in diaspora now, they tend to look, or the countries tend to look at the nationalities of your parents to decide where where you belong. Okay, if we look at the statistics I found in the statistics of international migrants, you will know that traveling and people moving from one country to another is quite a big topic on its own. People are moving, people are traveling, people are leaving their countries either for different reasons. There are some who are moving because of wars, traveling, migrating because of wars. There are some who are traveling because of joy, relationships. There are people who are traveling because of adventure. They want to see the world. There are some who are following their wives and their husbands or going to get married. There are family unions. There are holidays. There are people who are going on exile. There are people who are traveling for exchange programs. There are people who are traveling because of education purposes, of employment, you name it. So there are so many reasons under the sun why people travel, why people go. Some people travel because they are going to war, and war being war, that's humanitarian, whatever they are going to do. So there are people travel for different reasons. If we look at these statistics from international statistics of international migration from 2017, you find that between the periods of 2000 and 2017, you have like 79%, no, 79.6 million Asians traveling around the world. You have 2017 Europe, 77.9 million, yeah, million people traveling around. Oh, Jesus, that's quite a number. And then if you look at Africans, we have 24.7. That's quite a number as well. So, like people are traveling around the world for different reasons to different destinations. Okay, so if we look at takers of who is receiving the tourists, with the migrants, let's say, if we look at the statistics from the same statistic body, like statistic nation migrants from 2017, that's the United Nations one. We have United States taking the biggest number of migrants in 2017, like we're talking of 49.8 million. Wow. You look at Germany with Germany and Saudi Arabia taking 12.2 each million people. We have Russia with 11.7, and the UK with 8.8 million. Yeah. We are looking at South Africa taking 4.0. And then we have France and the Italians, they are there as well. And a few more other countries. Like in some countries like Ukraine, you wouldn't even think that the Ukrainians are taking anybody, considering that they are in a war themselves, but they do have migrants as well. All right, good. So that's just to bore you with a bit of statistics that people are traveling for many reasons. Yeah. So as people are traveling for many reasons, you will find out as well that if you look at the routes that I've taken, like why people travel, it's also reasons that can be used to justify why people are asking for visas to travel to those different places they are going to, because in most cases people travel legally and they need visas. About legally traveling, but there are some who manage people manage to get into places, into countries, whichever way. Yeah. And they also form a big group of the migrants coming into Europe, or for big group of diasporians. Okay, so we will deal with that as well, to say there are people who are seen as illegal in different countries where they've gone for whichever reason. Okay, we'll get back to that. Okay, so I'll say, like, if you a foreigner, before you leave your home country, let's start. That's where the journey starts. Before you leave your home country, there are a few things we need you to check, so that you are safe wherever you go. Because some of the problems people are facing in diaspora are because of how they left home, what preparations they did before they left. That's what is affecting how they are living where they are, or how they find themselves in different situations. Okay, so that's where we start to say, if you are leaving home is the country of your home country, what you call your home country. Please check the destination countries. What are the requirements? Where are you going? Yeah, who do you know? What connections do you have? Please check that, and check really, like, look at the details, look at the fine lines, because people are finding themselves stranded and money lost. They are losing so much money because they are dealing with people who are crooks. They are dealing with agencies that are non-ities. Yeah, there are people who are money schemers. The thing is, traveling and becoming migrants is big business, because once you pay and like, you put your application, and the migration officer say no, your money is gone. There is no way of you going back and say, but I paid you, give me my money back. It's gone. Okay, so please check, one, the destination countries. Check where exactly are you going to, the networks, the whoever connection you have. Check who are they, who do they work with. Yeah, if it means you contacting the like the embassies to know if they know these agencies, that will do you good and save you a couple of dollars, rands, or pullers, or pounds, or even the nairas. It will save you a lot of money. Just checking if you are using agencies, who are these people and who is behind that. Yeah, and then on the destinations, check what do those countries, what are they looking for, what are their requirements, what do they want, what do they expect of you, and see if you can fill up all those. If you can't, then you might have to think of another destination, because if you come with the thing that they don't want, you might find yourself stranded. Okay, not when I grew up, I used to think English was a universal language. Yes, English is a language that is common, but it's not a national language in every country. So check the languages of the countries you are going to. If you know in advance, then start learning that language in advance as well. Start learning the language as part of your preparation, because if you just come, you will be stranded. My brother Mokta there, he can tell you stories about my own journey. When I was going to Germany, they said, like, oh, but they speak German, right? I said, you know what? I speak English, so I will be fine. English is an international language. That was disaster in the making. What? I got there. There was no English anywhere. Only, like, if you're watching, like, if you open the internet, that's when you would find anything in English. But otherwise, English was not a language in the country. I had to learn German, and I learned it the hard way. So if you don't want to reach in that position, you better do your homework. Okay, so for those who are already in the countries where you are, that are not speaking like the language, the local language, like we said, we are dealing with diasporans in the countries where they are. If you are already there, Make sure you learn the local language. That's your key to open doors. You can pretend you speak English or you speak your foreign language. Okay, you might get away, but just know that you are limiting yourself. So for you to be able to move in that country and to develop and forge relations, you have to learn the language. That language is the key to understanding the mentality of the people in the destination country. It's the language for you to open the doors to their, to things that you need to survive in that country. Speaking the local language will open, really will soften any heart for you to be able to feel the home in that country. It will help you understand their mentality. It will understand you, help their culture. It will help you understand what you are, who are you dealing with. So you need that language. Even if your job says, you know what, you can work in English, but outside your job, you will need that local language. Okay, so do your homework. These days, it's even easy. You can learn languages online, so get to work and do your homework. Okay, so we have spoken about requirements. Once again on requirements, here we are talking of policies that affect you. If you manage to sneak yourself in whatever country, yeah, and you are still there, and you happen not to be legally recognized that you are still in the country, you better change that situation, because from its own on its own, nothing will change. It's you who have to do something. Okay, it's not going to be easy, but it's doable. So the first thing what you have to do will be to find, policy to govern how things are done in a country, how people live, how people are monitored, and how people, like kind of sort out this living together, make it possible for people to come from different countries and live in this one place. Okay, so we are coming with our traditions, our whatever, we are bringing our suitcases, but we have to merge into this society. So these regulations and requirements and rules are there to help us fit in or not fit in. But it's your duty to see that, you check that and sort it out. Okay, suppose you have managed, like I said, you are already in the country, and you happen not to be legally registered anyway. One of the things that you could do is to talk to lawyers, find lawyers or lawyer advocates who can talk to you and see if they can fight your case for you. It's going to cost you money, but it's worth checking, because if you are not recognized that you are in the country, you cannot do much. You will find that you are prone to be abused by your own relatives, by your own people, and by employees and other people who just happen to know your story. Yeah, and it will be difficult for you to go and get help from anybody, or go and report them, because they know you can't do anything, because you yourself, you see the policemen who are just walking around, you are busy running away because you know your things are not right. Okay, so because they know you are scared of the police, and you will not go and get help, so they will do whatever they want. They will take your things, they will just abuse you, whichever way you can think of, and they know there's nothing you can do. Okay, so start by sorting that out. You see that you get that help. You can talk to, sometimes some churches have got like a legal, or helpers or advisors. They can stand in for people like you. And if you look at, sometimes there's these charity organizations who are there to help diasporans. So if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know where you belong, where you know you are there, but you are not allowed to be there, you shouldn't be where you are, but you are there. See, and that you get help and get out of that situation, because that is not good for anything. You can work and save your money in somebody else's account. That person can decide, no, they are not giving you your money. You ask your money, they will call police for you. Yeah. So that's not a situation to be in. Or like somebody will just become jealous that you are now working and you are doing fine, or you seem to be happy in your situation, and they will call the police on you to say, come and see, this one is working and he's not even supposed to be here. So in most cases, when you see the immigration on your door, somebody has sold you out for whatever reason. So watch who you tell, what you tell. Okay. So, and I talked of checking which agencies and the routes that you are using, because there are so many people who are unfortunately reaching in diaspora. They find themselves into forced prostitution. They find themselves as slaves, house slaves. They find themselves like domestic slaves, doing all the hard work for nothing and little food or even anything, any free space. They are not even allowed to go out, or they are just locked up in the houses. Then they are beaten and they are, you don't want to know the details. You want to know more, Google it up, you will find it. So you find there are people who come in as normal travelers, and they find themselves being smugglers without knowing that they are smuggling, and they get caught. And those people who organize the trip, they disappear, and then they get caught and they remain as smugglers, right? And they're already criminals. And with a criminal record, in some places you won't be even be able to go in or get out or whatever. In some countries, smuggling drugs and all that is a death penalty. So I don't care which country you are coming from. If you are traveling to another country that is not your home, make sure you know where exactly you are going. Check that destination. Check who are they, what do they do, what makes them tick. Because some mistakes happen without you knowing, and mistakes is not an excuse against the law. Yeah. Okay, so check where you're going so that you know exactly, you are informed and you make an informed decision. We don't want people feel like, oh, by the way, you are now on a death penalty, and you start screaming. Even your embassy won't be able to bail you out if you happen to go into those countries where death penalty is an issue. Okay, so like there are people who are unfortunately ending up as the unwillingly body parts donors. Yeah, like I mean, they've been harvested. Their bodies have been harvested. Their body parts, they've been sold. You were just going to try your lucky somewhere in another country, and you happen to have met the wrong people in the wrong time, or you mingled with the wrong people, and they will chop you and sell you in parts. Yeah, so please check who are you dealing with. Even like I'm saying, it's also for people who are living in diaspora and people who are coming in diaspora. Check who are you dealing with, where are you going, who are you working with, so that you don't end up one of the misfortuned ones who just disappear without trace. Okay. And like on this one, I'll make a big note, as in like, before you leave home, we are still talking of check your opportunities, and check, like, make sure you are watertight. You don't want to sell your house, give up your good job to come and get stranded here. That will kill you. Yeah, not so many people are strong that they will just come and say, oh dear, poor me, this is not what I expected. And then, okay, now they were managers, they were business owners, house owners, and now they have to squat in one bedroom. The house is five of them. One goes to bed and the other one goes in and sleep. And people gave up good jobs to come and work and make a life here. They find themselves, they are working in the industries or in the healthcare sector, where they are doing all sorts of jobs. Yeah. And it's not everybody's cup of tea. So before you come, please check that out. Like I said, it doesn't matter which country you are coming from, especially those who have comfortable lives. Hello, Solo. You're good to have you. Especially those who have really comfortable lives in the home countries. I would suggest that please check that once more, and check it carefully, and see if diaspora will be better than what you already have. Because there are so many people who gave up the good life they had, thinking it will be better in diaspora, and now they are worse off. They have nothing here and they have nothing at home, because they sold what they have in order to manage to come here. And here they don't seem to be able to make a breakthrough. So before you get into that, please check your connections and check what you are up to see if what you are hoping for is what you will get. Because there are so many of us who came here and just discovered actually grass wasn't greener in diaspora, grass was greener at home. Okay, please check that one out. So that's one on that. I'm not saying don't come. I'm saying weigh your options really, really, really good. Okay? Because some people came and going back is not at the moment an option because they think where will we start? Because they are stranded here because they made uninformed decisions. So let's look into that. Okay, jobs in Europe, like I just said, people gave up good jobs to come and do whatever, good jobs, greener pastures in Europe. Yes and no. Yeah, there are so many people who are crying because they left better lives at home. Right? I'm not saying diaspora is a no. It's a hard life. So if you are coming here, if you are already in diaspora, get that job that you have to pay your bills. Get whatever to start with that is in your reach, and start working so that while least you are earning something, you'll be able to, you are looking for that better job. And especially for those who are being taken care of, don't be nasty people and take others for advantage that people are going to, you are all working. And now, when you normally, when people are coming from somewhere else, we all need a place where we have to, as in like, I need to get somewhere to start with. And then from there, if you get a little job or whatever you are getting, share that little bit that you have. Don't expect yourself to be taken care of like a little baby while you are pocketing all your earnings for your jolly life. That's not fair on the people who are taking care of you. Bills in Europe, they don't finish. Bills in diaspora, they are just crazy. Yeah, everybody has to work like really hard. So if you get that chance that somebody is taking care of you, by all means, please help with that little bit that you have. I'm not saying put everything on the table, but put something. If they are giving you accommodation, like you are having your eating, you have your meals, why don't you go to the shops? If you are ashamed to put a little money on the table, go to the shops and buy the food. Look what is around, or even check with them what is around and what is needed in the house, and then you pay for that. Help each other. Don't be, in German they say, and marota. Somebody who just want to be fed like a little chicken, yet little chick, yet you are adults, you are working. Once you start earning something, put money on the table or bring something else. So make your own contribution. Life in diaspora is not easy. There is nobody who gives anything and anybody for free. It's all hard work. So that means, for all those who think money grows in Europe, you come in and you find money walking on the or money is growing on trees, or money is on the floor. Say, pick me up. You have another thing coming. Be ready for disappointments, because there is nothing like that. You have to work like extremely hard. In some conditions, God have mercy on you. There are conditions to cry. Yeah, conditions where you can just say like, I don't even know why I left, but I'm here now. So you are already here. If you are already here, you just have to manage. Okay, you have to work hard. All right, it's not all bad. Save what you can and see that you use your money wisely. All right, so yeah, like I said, talking of money, it just brings me to the next topic, that there are too many bills to be paid. So you need to organize yourself well. You need to sort your bills right, so that you don't accrue so many bills because you fail to pay one of those. I'm one of them. I put them like, okay, I see something, I'll pay tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes another day and another. By the time I say, oh, let me pay, maybe it has doubled or tripled or whatever. So it's money that I'm dashing in the bin, right? It's money that I could be saving for myself. And then on the other end, I'll be crying that, oh, there are so many bills. It's because I'm not organizing myself well. So instead of me keeping that extras that I'm now just giving other people for services that they didn't even do, right? But if I would pay my bills on time, or at least negotiate to say, oh guys, I'm sorry, I should have paid this, but I know it's tight at the moment. Can you give me a lenience? They won't put extras. They will wait for me to come back and pay, or they will remind me again nicely. Okay, so let's not put money in the bins. Okay, the language barrier, we have spoken about that. For foreigners, we have to stand tall, right? We have to, like, if you have, like, I mean, we, most of us lack self-confidence. You do something right, and it's you have worked for it, you have earned it, and you just watch somebody just coming and grabbing that glory, and you're just watching, like, oh, okay, they've done it. No, it's high time we start learning to stand up for ourselves, to say, as long as you are a foreigner and you have worked hard for that, whatever you have achieved, it's your achievement. Stand tall and claim it. If somebody wants to steal it from you, to say, no, it's me, I know I've done it, and I can prove it. And stand tall and grab your what do you say that, like, your glory, right? Not just watch people stepping on you all over. And I know I can talk about that, because I'm one of them. I used to, like, somebody would just come and grab something. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, it's all right. No. Anyway, I know I did it. But if they want to go and brag about it. But unfortunately, this world that we live in, it has a silly thing, or a silly, I'll call it a silly system of rewarding those who grab things from others that they didn't earn. So before they go about earning on your head, grab it yourself and earn it yourself, and stand there and say, this is me. I did this. I know how. I am the one who've done it, and let other people get the crowns for your job. Okay, so that will be that on self-confidence. Know what you know. If you know that you are lacking, go back to school, ask others to help you out. Learn where you are, better yourself, improve yourself, so that you can stand there with confidence, with your head high, to say, yes, I am here. I've done this. You want for go for a job, go for it, right? And stand tall and say, like, yes, it's me. I'll give you an example. I once went for an interview, right? I had just finished, like, my master's. Then I had done an extra course in HR, like human resources. So I went looking for a job for human resources, like a more like starter job, so to say. So this girl, like at, I think 22 years old, 23 years old, she looks at me and says, so like the one was interviewing me, like they were like the headhunters, so to say. Like, so where do you see yourself in 10 years? So I said to her, well, I wasn't thinking on, I wasn't thinking that, in 10 years, I'll be working for somebody. I want to be working for myself. I want to have my own company, or I will be a manager. I'll be doing something big with my life. You know what? This lady, she looked at me and said, what makes you think you will be able to do that? What, she asked me what was my plan for the next 10 years, right? And I tell her my plan. She looks at me like, oh, if I'm looking at your CV, I can see that, oh, you have just done one assistant job or the other, so there isn't anything managerial here. So what makes you think you will be a manager? You know what I'm talking about? Remember, I'm saying this woman is the one who's supposed to be giving me this job, as she's head hunting for me. But the way she spoke to me on that day, she made me feel so small. She made me feel so angry, because as we were still talking, I got so angry that I felt myself almost exploding. But I had to say to myself, no, you can't afford to explode now, right? Just do what you are here, continue and live. And you know what? I regret that. I think I should have said my peace of mind in a nice way, of course, but a constructive way, I would call it. that I should have said what I was thinking in a constructive way, to say, how dare you talk to me like that, like I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. But I didn't say anything. I just felt intimidated, and I crawled out feeling so beaten. Yeah. And I'm thinking that was wrong. So if you can do better, you know you are worth what you are worth, stand by it. Don't let anybody make you cringe or make you shrink. Sorry guys, I just need to sort this one out. Like the YouTube guys and Facebook connection just got lost, so I just need to bring them. Continue. I just need to bring them back, and then we continuation episode 3. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, if you know what you know, if you know what makes you, like, what you are worth, or rather know your worth, and don't let anybody make you small. Of course, there is that thing, what I was talking about earlier on, to say you might say, okay, at the moment I'm looking for this big job, but I haven't got it yet. And then you pick up that little job that you have at that moment to manage to help you cross bridges while you still wait for the other job. Hello once again on Facebook. Sorry, the connection got lost somehow. I don't know what's going on with this Facebook connection. Okay, we are talking life in diaspora, and we were talking the topic of lack of self-confidence, that most of us diasporians, we lack self-confidence, and we let people step on us, yeah, because they take our glory for the job that we have done, just because we are not sure of ourselves and sure of our abilities. No, it has to change. Stand up for what you believe, stand up for what you know, and stand up for what you have done. Okay. And then the other topic that is dear to my heart, racism. You can be, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter where you are from, but as long as you are foreign, you might have already faced this racism at all levels. There's this racism that, and when you confront someone, like, excuse me, did I hear you right? Like, oh no, I didn't mean it that way. No, I wouldn't say that. No, that person has already said whatever they said. The fact that you have felt it, it means there is something there, right? It's now up to you and see how you would address it, right? I've had the situation when people will say all sorts of nasty things to me, and remember, I'm not talking of those people that you meet on the street and you expect anything bad to come out of their mouth. Sometimes even there is institutional racism, and there is also racism in such a way, like from your own families, your own friends, right? I once had a person calling me, oh, you know what, you look like Coke and Fanta, me and my friend. And I was so mad because I challenged that. The girlfriend to that friend said, like, no, he doesn't mean it like that. He only means that, you are so fair. You look like chocolate, like brown chocolate. What are we talking about here? So racism is not just as open as that, right? It's deep. If you feel that somebody is touching you too close to your liking, and there is issue of racism in what has happened to you, racism in most of these European countries, like that's where I can talk about because that's where I am, is an issue of discipline. It's a disciplinary issue. If you are at work and somebody racially discriminates you, right, or whatever form of racism that you will face, please report it to your superiors or to your managers or to whoever who is in charge, because it is a reason for disciplinary for somebody, whoever is bullying you at your work. Because if you don't stop it, it will not stop. Okay, so you have to see that, hello Vinny, once again, sorry, the connection had just gone off. So it's up to you to stand up for yourself and to stand up for those like you who will be victims of the same game if you don't stop it. So you feel there is racism, they stand up for yourself and see that, like that way you keep it. There is racism in the schools as well. You know, you see some, especially for African children, in some places, they are not really encouraged to do well. They are encouraged to be like dancers. Everybody can be a dancer and entertainer. I have a friend of mine who have yet to send their child back home. You know, because the teachers in Europe here, they were saying, oh no, you know, you will be a dancer and you'll be fine. You like dancing is in your blood. Instead of encouraging this child, like, okay, dancing is good, you are dancing well, but you need maths, you need your languages, you need your sciences, you need your, you know, they were encouraged, just like, I know these other things are not important for you, you know. Guess what? The parents have to make that hard decision and send the child back to Africa. And you know what? That child is one of the star children in the class. He is he is excel. I want to say, like, he's doing very well in all subjects. He is a star in his class. Can you believe it? And that's the child that they dismissed to say, like, yeah. So I'm saying to you, diasporans, it's your responsibility to see what is happening to your children in the schools where they are. I'm not trying to tell you that all schools are racist or all children are being battered in the schools, but I'm saying open your eyes and see what's happening to your children where you are leaving them, and see that, you know, you prepare the way for your children. Okay, this thing of just waiting and saying, they will do it at school, they will be fine, is not the best way of dealing with this, right? Know what's happening around your children. Sometimes children get bullied around and they don't talk because they are scared of, like, to say things. But if you don't get involved, you will not know. So get involved. Okay. So that brings me, talking of children, to our talking to our next topic, to say children and children care. Right. Like I said before, children are your responsibility, dear parents. My responsibility and your responsibility. If we just let our lives, our children, just manage as they are happening in the society, we might lose a whole generation. We might lose our children. You know why? Because remember, our children are growing in this place that is home for them. That home is different from the home that we grew up in. So our children will try and match what we as parents are drilling in them because of our norms, our cultures, from where we came from. But they are also, because they are born wherever we are, or they've grown up in this place where we are now, where now is home for us and for them, they will also pick some things from there. So it's up to us adults to guide our children so that they understand the worlds, the different worlds they are living in. Because if we try to just drill in them what we know from home, at least, you know, the home that we left, you know, like if you left 20 years ago, you can be sure the country that is there where you left, the one that you left 20 years ago and the one that you will find if you go today, they are not the same ones. You might not even be able to fit in that place, because when you left, that country continued moving on and developed without you, right? You left with what you knew then, and you came into this new place. And because you came into this new place, you will also change, right? Like it or not, you also change, right? But because you are still holding on to that what you know from the past, right, it will kind of match and mix with what is going on around you. So what you don't know, what is too new for you, can be things like, oh, I don't want my child to do this. But remember, this child is growing up in this environment. So make sure you try to embrace in this new place, this new home where you are. Pick what is good, what will make your children not feel like aliens in this place that is home for them. Because this is their home. Your home is where you left. But these children are growing up here where you are. This is their home. Right? So don't alienate the children from what's going on around them. Filter the bad things, you know, like show them where the bad things are, where the traps are, right? But allow them to be children in the home where you are, and still put your, I'm not saying give up your morals, and I said make sure your children understand so that they don't feel like you are an alien, or they feel like they don't belong, because this home is home for them. Yeah. So as that brings us to the type thing of child discipline and safeguarding. Yeah, some places where we grew up, children are disciplined the hard way. Yes, you might need that in some places, but you have to be careful. Know the regulations and the rules of the places you are in. You don't want to lose your children, and you don't want to raise messed up children, because they've got no rules and no laws, because you are scared of, like, if I do this, I might lose my children. So know the regulations and safeguard and protect your children, but bring your children to be responsible adults. Yeah, we don't want a wasted generation. We don't want a wasted children or teenagers that they've got no clue who they are, right? Because the problem is, if you bring them messed up like that, they are not gonna be just your problem. They are going to be a problem for the society. Yeah, and if the problem becomes a problem for the society, they will turn back and say you are the problem, because you brought up your children that way. You didn't know what. They will forget that they've got their laws that say you can't even tell off the children, you can't even do this, you can't even do that. They will forget all those laws and say you didn't bring up your children properly. So please, parents, adults, whoever is going to care for children, make sure you teach your children properly. Lead the way and live by example, and children will learn from you. Yeah, childcare is so expensive here. So we need children. We need, like, we need to have sorry, we need to have like a social network. If you have your own relatives, make a social network with them. If you don't have, you might have to build some with your friends, with the other mothers or other fathers in a situation like yours. Yeah, be friends with them, and that way you kind of support each other. It will work. Yeah, instead of you struggling by yourself. So that's one way of doing it, to say, like, you support each other, and you build your own networks, social networks, where you can support each other, picking up children from school, or dropping off, or like doing the school runs, as we call it here in Europe. Okay. So, or like, you can create moms for moms, or fathers for fathers, or parents for parents. You create your own little network, and then you contact each other as you need it. Okay, according to the rules and regulations that you will have put up for the network. Okay. And then, yeah, if you have been called here to come and take care of somebody's child, for those who are in diaspora, kana wakaunzwa kuzochengeta mwana, somebody brought you from somewhere to come and take care of their children, may you please be kind. At least do the job that you have been asked to do. If you can't, better you leave. Don't even attempt. We have pictures, and like, we know some people who have been abusing other people's children. Children are such a treasure that somebody would trust you. Parents will give to say, like, may you please. It's because they trust you. If you know that, like, it's a responsibility that you don't want, that you cannot carry, by all means, just say no. Just say no, sorry, I can't. Than take other people's children and mess them up. Right? It's not a must. If you can't, you can say no, I can't. Okay. That will do somebody good, and it will be good for those children. Okay, so that's like child care. And if you happen to say, like, you can't, then you might as well just leave and go back where you came from. All right. So that's child care and child upbringing. Our children need positive steps, positive role models. Talking of children, and we as well, those ones who are already here in the diaspora, when we bring our new people from home, we show them what is doable and what's not. So we have to be role models for them as well. Right. So because if you bring your children such a way that there's nothing that you do, you don't need to read, you don't need to work, you raise children like that. Right. And if because like here in Europe, if you don't want to go to work, at least for those who are already in the system, You can decide like, I want to get sick every week. And if I'm sick every week, nobody will force me to go to work, right? But the problem with that is if you have children in the house, they are learning that there is no reason to go and work because money grows from the government's pocket, and the government's pocket is your pocket as well. Somebody has to work and feed them. And that means you are creating a generation of people who don't want to work. By the way, those benefits, the money that the government is giving you to chew with your own family, somebody else is going to work and paying tax, because somebody else is waking up every day and going to work. You and your family can have that money as benefits. So it's not like the government has got a milking cow. They can just, like milk and give it to you and your family. So you have to play your own part. If you are sick, like health wise, like as I mean, like genuinely ill, it's understandable. If you are genuinely in, like for whatever reason, you really can't work, we understand. But everybody else, especially the diasporans, please go to work. We are one reason why things are changing and becoming so difficult for others here in diaspora, and for us in the, not really others, for us in diaspora, because we are creating those problems. We are showing the host countries that let us in. Once we get those passports and we become citizens, we won't go to work. And those say like, okay, so we don't need them foreigners because they are just going to want to milk us. And they close their doors and they start making rules and regulations difficult. And we start screaming again, things are bad. Yes, things are bad because we are not playing our role. Yeah, like I said, this is for all people in diaspora. I don't care which country you are in. Don't try to milk where you didn't reap. The cow is not yours. Okay, it's actually grace that you are allowed to taste the milk, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the cow is now yours. Okay, so let's bring let's be positive role models for our children and those younger ones that we are bringing up. Okay, to say like, oh, really? There is need to read, there is need to work, and you earn because you work for something, and it will also boost their own identity and who they are, because they learn to work and achieve things. Okay, so that will be that on children and child care. I think another thing, children who are being born in foreign countries, they are actually nowhere. One, where they are born, in the countries they are born, they are treated as foreigners. And in the countries where the family came from, the parents came from, or the grandparents, they are also treated as foreigners. So why don't we allow them or help them understand who they are? Right. If you have another language that is not the same one as the local, as the national language in your country, teach your children that language that you grew up speaking. You know why? It's scientifically it has been proved that children who learn different languages, it helps them in learning other subjects, because they start associating that with it helps them become intelligent, so to say, like easily said, right? That it helps children in their development if they can understand the mother's natural language or the father's natural language. Don't worry that your children will pick up the languages wherever you are born, or like wherever those children are born or growing up. They will pick, at least if they go into the normal primary school, normal nurseries and schools and all that, because they live in that area. If you associate with other people who speaks the normal languages, excuse me, if you associate yourself, if you don't isolate yourself and you just hang around with people from your own country and your own communities, your children will hang around only, will grow only like as much as you show them. But if you let your children be normal children in that environment where you are, you can be sure And I know what I'm talking about because I raised my little boy in Germany. So when we were in Germany, I was talking to my son at home only in Shona, because I'm from Zimbabwe and I speak Shona, and a little bit of English, right? And then in preschool, he was learning German. And you know what? This little boy learned that, like, that was how we were from day one. Yeah, and even a preschooler, there's like, what language are you speaking with him? I said Shona and English because that's what I was speaking with him. All right. Okay, so with more Shona and a little bit of English in the background, and then at school, at preschool, like preschool, no, at nursery it was, he was learning German because he's a German child. Okay, you know what? With him growing up, so when he started like really talking when he was 2, if he went in a group of people, right? Like you can see, I'm African, I'm Zimbabwean, Shona, right? If you saw somebody who was like mommy, complexion like mommy, the first language he gave that person was always Shona. If he saw that that person was not understanding the Shona, he was switching into English. If he noticed that even English is not working, he would switch to German. If he saw a Caucasian white German, you would never speak with that person or start with that person in German. You will start with German, no, in Shona, sorry. You will start with that person in German. And if he sees that German is not working, he would switch and go to English. With this little English, you would try to manage the conversation. If you saw that even with the German, it wasn't Shona English, it wasn't working, you would then only then try to speak in Shona, but like on very rare occasions. And if I go to him with him in a different place where there are different people, you would automatically pick who speaks which language, and you would give each person the proper language according to what he was hearing. So that's what children do. Yeah, so these boundaries that we are busy building, it's us adults, because we adults, we struggle learning languages. So we think we have to protect the children and they should know only the local languages, the national languages. You don't need to worry with that. They are already in those countries. They have a problem is they won't be able to learn your own language because there is a limit of how many people are speaking that and how many people are speaking it with them. So it's your duty to teach your children your language, because that language becomes part of their identity, part of who they are. Because if somebody starts screaming at them, you foreigner, you what, and they don't know nothing about this foreign foreign language, foreign home, foreign everything, they don't know anything about it, what does it make them feel? It makes them feel like they are just nobodies. Yeah, so give your children that identity. If you can afford it, take your children home to that home where you came from, so that when they hear it, it helps complete the image of who they are. So that's maybe a little bit on that, on children. Yeah, to say yes, your roots are important. They are their roots as well, so they have to understand what is happening. Okay, I said about talking about role models, to say let's have positive role models. Let's have share your knowledge. Let's have children seeing you, like you excelling, and they will also have something to excel, like something to look forward to do, because they are seeing that things can be done. All right. Okay, so let me see, what else do I have? Yeah, disciplining the children. We have languages, we have part of their identities. Yes, we have positive role models. We spoke about that. Okay, we all have dependencies at home. People who are relying on us, and we have life here as well. So bottom line on this, it's good to help where you can, but you don't have to kill yourself, right? And I really mean it, to say help where you can. Yeah, but not to the extent of starving yourself and starving your own children so that you can help other people's children. Your children comes first, and you also come first, right? And if you can help, the best way, like at least what these days is a topic, is say instead of giving people, continuously supplying them with a little bit of money there, little bit of money there, why not start something that will help them, that will help them generate money for themselves, so that you don't have to work for many families. Yeah, by that I mean, instead of you giving them like 20 pounds every month, why not start a little business for them that doesn't cost you a lot of capital, that you find out from them what is going on around wherever they are, and find out what they would love to trade in, and then supply that little bit that you can. If it's too big a dream, they have to get something small, so that they start with the something small and save what they can to do the something big. Yeah, so you give them money to start a small project that they can sustain, that can sustain them. If they work well, from that little capital they have, they will double their profits, and then they will move on. And that way you don't have to continuously give them the 10 pounds every month, or the 100 pounds every month, because now they've become self-sustaining. Right. If you give them the money, and they chew, like they use the capital and bend the capital and bend the profits, then you wash your hands off them, because you've done your bit. Because they, like, especially Africans, we've got so many big families. So if you are continuously going to be given one person, and then they are going to be forever losing that money, or use the, like, changing the destinations of the money, because more money will come from Europe, where money grows on trees, then nobody will be helped with that. Okay, so maybe, just maybe, it might be good to say, okay, give them, like, as like that saying of saying, teach people to fish, not just giving them fish. So it will be one of those, to say, like, help them get something where they can work for. And besides, if they work for it and they earn it, then they will treasure it, they will work hard for it. Okay, and then there will be, like, things will be better for everybody involved. They get, like, to say, like, oh, at least we are working for ourselves. And yeah, okay, and then that will be that on helping. And then, like, please, while least you help, don't help in such a way that you end up strangling yourself. People are dying of fatigues. If you look at the mortuaries, there are so many flights and coaches and buses going back home. Yeah, going back home without with the coffins of people who just dropped dead. They were not sick, they just dropped dead because of fatigue. Yeah, so people, take care of yourself, so that you can be able to help others while least you are alive, because once you are dead, you are not good for anybody. Yeah, so that will be that. And while least we are still talking of working and helping others, you help yourself. And if you still don't have a build, like a burial society, then you better open up one, because people are just dropping dead, and they end up without any way of, like, how they will be buried. Okay, so see if you can sort that one out, even if it means putting up a little bit of money on the side, and then you do that. Okay, so that will be that about burial societies. And yeah, just get yourself organized, instead of helping others to to the extent of you losing everything. Okay, so that will be that. Let's see, diaspora reality. Yeah, life in diaspora is not about, the life in diaspora is not about, yeah, just getting, just getting things done. You say, like, oh, I'm going to live in diaspora, and then you think everything will just go wara wara, everything is well. Right, sometimes things are not working that easily. There is a lot of hard work involved. There is really a lot of hard work and nerves involved. Yeah, where you say, you have to work, you just have to work hard. and you just have to organize yourself. Okay. What else did I see? Let me see on my list. Just a second. My Facebook has dropped off again. Let's see if I can get this link. See if I can get this link. Just a second. Just a second, please. I'll show that in a minute. Okay, so I was saying, like, you just have to see how best do you help yourself. All right, I've spoken about seeing that you work normally, and seeing that you have that you have your burial societies, and that you are just working normally and taking care of yourself. Okay, so if you look at this, there is this thing of saying diaspora. Well, what I say, diaspora reality versus dream. Diaspora dream, that life in diaspora is better. The grass is greener than in diaspora than back home. So I was saying, like, if you are still in diaspora, and you have you have a better life, before you pack your bags and consider moving over to diaspora, you might want to rethink, because not everything in diaspora is as easy as we think it is. Okay, so if you are having, you might as well come and visit. You might as well come here in diaspora and get increase your education, expand your knowledge. If you can, maybe you better go back home, because you have better opportunities there than you have here. I know of so many people who gave up good jobs back home to try and come and live here in diaspora a better life. But guess what? Not all of them managed to be on those same levels that they used to be. Yeah. So, like, just know that diaspora is not, it's not always going to be that what you think is your reality will be the reality when you come here. Okay, just please be aware of that. That sometimes things can go a complete different way. There are so many disappointments. Yeah, so you need lots of patience, right? You really need lots of patience. You need lots of hard work to be to do something, to do somewhere. Yeah, and you need to fight, like, also fight different battles at different levels, and you really need to be strong. So diaspora is not for faint hearted. Like, there are so many hurdles in this life we give. Of course, when we come back on holiday, we'll be showing off flashy and all that, but it doesn't mean that everything down here, up here, or down here is all as flashy as that. Okay, so some people, like, the life in diaspora, like I said, there is the good part, that there are resources. There are sometimes new opportunities that people can take advantage of. If you have already managed to get into these systems of the countries you are in, okay, please, by all means, see that you improve yourself. Don't stay the same person who came here. Many years later, you are still that same person. Yeah, if it means you going back to school, go back to school. Take those opportunities to improve yourself. Yeah, if it means you going if it means you working your way up in the jobs that you are in, work your way up. I have a friend in German, one of my best friends. I know her since we came to German, like 2000, and I came 2001, and she was already there when I came, but we met in a language school. When I went to university, right? She went to become like a chambermaid. And guess what? Today, as I'm talking to you, managers have come and left. She is now one of the chambermaids. Not chambermaids, one of the managers. You know, when I was saying, come on, girl, learn computers, she was looking at me and thinking like, oh, no, I don't need that. But you know what? There was a time when she would do all her tables by hand. And somebody, one of her friends or like workmates, would put her work onto the system. And that person will get the money, a bit more money than her. You know, until she told herself that enough is enough. I'm tired of this. Now she's getting a full salary because she can now work on computers. She is doing things. She is doing marvelously well. But when I was saying, like, do this, she was thinking she wasn't ready. It wasn't her time then. So, what I'm talking about, we all have our time to do different things, but let's learn and improve ourselves as we are going. So, today, honestly, when I go there, I always get a good treat. And she's always like, oh, look at my friend. My friend used to say this, but then I wasn't ready. But look at me now. You know, many years later, she got to where what I was trying to say to understand how it works. So what I'm saying is, if you know something that works for somebody, please share the knowledge. And you who hear the information, be ready to help yourself, because nobody will help you or will do things for you. You have to help yourself. So take advantage of the resources and the environment that you are in to improve yourself. Okay, even if you go back home, you know, if you don't take your money with you, you take your knowledge with you, because someday some people will go back where they came from, some will stay. Okay, but if you stay here, you will still be useful, because you'll be useful for that country you are in. You'll be paying your taxes. And like, you know, like if you are working a good job, or even you're making not a good job, you will still be working in misery, be miserable there. So you don't want that. So see that you improve yourself. Yeah, and if you improve yourself, like I said, you learn the skills and you improve and you share knowledge, you are empowering those around you, and you are being, you know, like helping each other to become more visible and more positive role models coming up. Okay, so I spoke a bit about positive more role models, right? So that would be like a bit of a repetition to that, but an emphasis on that. Okay, to say positive role models are needed for us foreigners in the diaspora, in the countries we are in diaspora. Let's be positive role models for our children and those who are around us, so that they can aim to say, like, the aim to be like us, because we are doing things. Okay, so what else do we have? Yeah, if you are in diaspora, right, and you have seen that things are not working as you wish, as you thought about, you know what? You might have to consider going back home. It's a very difficult decision. It's almost as difficult as the decision you made to come back, to come here. But going back is even double difficult, because you see yourself as a failure. No, don't see yourself as that, but see yourself as one who made an adventure. And some adventures were fruitful and some adventures were not. It was fruitful because you came and see what works and what doesn't work. So you might as well take that knowledge with you, and you can go back and try something else. It will still be better than living on the streets or getting into criminality or doing all sorts of ungodly things just for the name of living in diaspora. So if things are really not working for you, you know, like the worst thing, you know, like even for the flight, you might as well go for yourself, go by yourself to the home office and tell them, I want to go back home. They will ship you back home with the first flight. Because most countries, they want people to go back where they came from. So if you go there by yourself to say, hey, I want to go home, they will gladly ship you home. Okay, sorry, I'm laughing, but it's a serious matter. If things are really not working for you, you have really tried, before you lose your head, before you do all sorts of things that you might regret, but things that are happening because of the situation you are in, please consider going back home. Yeah, that might be even a better solution. Yeah. Okay, you know, I once saw some people sleeping in McDonald's, like you know, this 24/7 McDonald's. I know that because I was like traveling at that time. So I went in the morning. We went in the morning. We had our breakfast. No, sorry. We passed by because we drove in at night. We passed by this McDonald's and we had our dinner, right? And then we went to our hotel and we slept. So in the morning, besides we decided like to go and eat and like eat something like breakfast on the way. We decided to pass by that same McDonald's again. Those people were still there, putting on the same clothes, the same place where we left them the night before. So before you end up like that, please consider going home. Yeah, home is home is always best if things like nothing else works. Okay, all right. So like that will be that. Say, don't see yourself as a loser. See yourself as somebody who went on a mission, somebody who tried something, and then go back home if things are not working for you. All right. Then, like the home office, be straight with them, and then things will be easier for you. And you can't hurry them. Like, you mama, you can't hurry love. The home office has got its own rules and regulations. But remember, there's always the little lines, the little buts, and the little exceptions. Get to know those, and you will see what will work for you. All right. So that will be on that. Like a home office, there isn't much to say really. Okay. Let's see, what else do I have. Okay, you have to get involved. Say like diaspora, please get involved. I know so many people who came here so many years. They never learned the language. They just move around their own communities. They have created their little homes here. Like, like they came from a village called what they came here and they created that another little village here. They are not mingling with the community. They just stay by themselves. But at the end of the day, then you expect the locals to accept you. Then you expect you to be able to live like, your normal life. Why should it work like that? Nobody should really, because you came to people's countries. So like, be social and see that you mingle, and it's for your own good. So please unpack your bags. This thing of sitting there with the packed bags, like I'm going home, I'll be returning home. Yes, someday you might return home, right? But until then, you are here in that country where you are in. See that you get involved, right? Join politics, join different activity groups, join whatever clubs, be a volunteer, make yourself useful with the community, get to know them, right? Get involved, then you will know what's happening. Get involved in your children's schools. Get involved, know what's happening around you. You don't want to sit there, because some of these regulations and rules and policies are made in your absence. So if they are made in your absence, how are they supposed to know? If they if the I'll give you an example on that one. How are people supposed to know how you feel if you don't go there and speak for yourself and let them know? Like, you as a migrant, there was a time when I was in Germany, when they were making laws in Berlin, some regulations that would affect migrants. And guess what? Some of the migrants were not even participating. So if you are the migrant and you don't go and participate in things that, when policies and regulations are made that affects you, and then you let people who are not foreigners, who are not migrants, like who are the locals, right, decide for you what is good for you, do you think that will work? When it comes, they say like, oh, we have taught this, and you look at it like, no, but this is not working. The things, it will not work, because it's not you who is there to decide. You are the one who's supposed to like get involved. Say like, oh, if you do this happens. But if we do it this way, then this is what happens. This is what we want. So get involved. Help change the society, or help, like, let the society know what you people are feeling. We used to say, We used to say we are the one, when I was in German, because I was involved as well. We used to say we are the ones who is putting on the shoes, so we know where the pressure on the shoe is, which part of the shoe hurts, because we are the one who's putting on the shoe. So you, the foreigner, if you just sit and say, they will decide, they will do what they want to do. Yes, they will do what they want to do. Definitely, they won't stop because you are not there, right? But the thing is, whatever is decided there, how does it affect you? What part of you that is contributing? Because some of the things will not only affect you, they will also affect your children and your children's children, because you didn't play your part. So if you can, by all means, go and get involved. Yeah, go and get involved in whatever is happening around you. Okay, so that will be that. Let me see if I still have. I have lots of points. I can talk until tomorrow. But let's see the main ones, like we highlight the main ones. All right, then that's another one, important one. There are numbers to know, or places to know. Yeah, know the police, the numbers to the police, emergency numbers for the police. Know the fire brigade, emergency hospitals numbers, the GPs, the schools where your children are going. Know the key people to talk to. Know the social worker numbers in case you need help. Know the ambulance, the ambulance number. You have to know that. And above all, learn to do first aid. Yeah, you have to learn to do the first aid, especially people with small children. You have to learn. It's a must have done course to learn how to know, like to perform first aid in case you are with children and children collapse. If you don't know what to do, your children will die on your hands. You're in your hands because you don't know how to help them, how to save them yourselves. Okay, so please, Ndapota, I'm really asking you to, like, please learn the first learn the first learn first aid. Okay, so that. All right, so anything else that needs mentioning? Yeah, so like whilst you are here, see that you do care for yourself and reach the maximum you can. Use the situations and the opportunities that come your way, and learn and be productive for the societies that you are in the societies that you are in. Please be productive, because if things get bad, it's only not get bad for you, but for other generations to come. Then that's when they say, like, oh, we don't want diasporans because we don't want migrants, because we don't want foreigners, because yeah. But if we live by example and at least do as much good as we can, right, it makes our life easier as well. Okay, so that was me talking. So I will stop here for now. There are so many other points I would love to talk about, and we can continue going on and on and on and on and on. All right. So for now, I say thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so sorry for the guys on Facebook. I don't know what happened to my connection. It just went off and it wouldn't restart again. But I've put the Facebook, the YouTube link to say, like, at least you get the continuous and full video there. Okay, so that's good. And then what else do I have to say? Oh, please don't forget to subscribe for me on my YouTube channel, like Life Coach Vimbai Chiwuswa. And yeah, do follow me as well on Facebook. I'll always continuously put up things. If there are topics that you want us to discuss, please let me know. Do leave your comments, please, because I love that and I learn from that as well. Okay, and so yeah, that was that for me today, and say thank you so much and stay blessed. Yeah, thank you. That's so I think I just have like YouTube to say to close up today. All right, let's see, where is my video, where is my YouTube? Oh, it has disappeared. My YouTube has disappeared. Okay. Thank you so much. Cheers. God bless.